The trial into the 2020 general and regional elections is underway at the Georgetown Magistrates Court. Wednesday was day 3 of the trial, which is being heard before Senior Magistrate Leron Daly. Wednesday's hearing began with lawyers in a banter over admissibility of evidence and the mention of names of persons who are not defendants in the case. These issues were raised by King Counsel Darshan Ramdani, who made 3 submissions to the court in an effort to have the issues addressed by the magistrate, but after hours of pleading his case, no resolution was immediately in sight.
Questions about hearsay evidence, how it can be used. A man who says something and he's charged, whether that evidence can be used against another defendant, whether that defendant is in his presence or not. The other side has asked to make some submissions in relation to the matter. There were some other issues discussed in relation to notes of evidence and what is being excluded.
The issues raised by Ramdani stem from an earlier proceeding which saw a section of the Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, Sonia Parag's evidence being struck out. This was solely because Parag, in her testimony, named an individual who is not a defendant in the matter. So Ramdani sought to have Parag recalled to the witness stand to once again lead the evidence without the implication of anyone, a decision which Magistrate Daly said she will rule on as the trial proceeds. Defense attorney U.C. Anderson objected to any ruling without the magistrate first allowing him to speak on the request.
On Monday, we should get some clarity on the way forward. I think I'm very happy to let you know that on Monday we'll get significant clarity on the way forward.
But it did not end there, as the prosecution also sought clarity on the magistrate's process in noting evidence. There was uncertainty whether notes taken by the magistrate reflect every aspect of the evidence given by witnesses. In response, Magistrate Daly explained that all the evidence were not recorded by her, since some aspects could not be admitted as evidence. The entire trial is being video recorded, but there was also uncertainty on whether the recordings can stand as official records in the case. It was at this point that the prosecution voiced concerns about the difference in evidence to be reflected in the court notes and the live recording of the proceedings. In fact, Ramdani told the court there were 40 instances whereby vital evidence were not noted by the magistrate. So to clarify this, the magistrate provided the prosecution with the option to compare the two and point her to these instances, a process which will take some time. After listening to the prosecution submission and despite efforts to address the issues on spot, the court went to recess. During this process, both the prosecution and defense lawyers engaged the magistrate in a discussion in her chambers. After deliberating for some time, the proceedings was resumed, with Magistrate Daly informing the court that she would need some time to review the challenges raised in court during Wednesday's hearing. So the matter was adjourned to Monday morning. 9 persons are before the court in relation to electoral fraud. They are former APNU AFC Government Minister Balda Lawrence, former GCOM Chief Elections Officer Keith Lowingfield, former GCOM Returning Officer for District 4 Claremont Mingo, former GCOM Deputy Chief Elections Officer Roxanne Myers, APNU AFC's Chief Scrutineer Carl Smith Joseph, and former GCOM employees Sherfrin February, Enrique Liven, Michelle Miller, and Dennis Bob Cummins. They face 9 conspiracy charges, which are said to have been committed between Elections Day, March 2nd, 2020 to August 2nd, 2020. It is alleged that the defendants conspired during the 2020 general and regional elections to defraud the electors of Guyana by declaring a false account of votes cast. Reporting for the newsroom from the Georgetown Magistrates Court, I am Sharda Bacchus.